Hi, this is Kathy Brown from runningnotes.net. Today in What Does This Do? I'm going to show you the tooltip control from the XPages extension library. First, just a quick demo to see what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about that. When the edit box message, whatever it might be, pops up as the user hovers over an element on the page. Very simple to do, especially using the tooltip control from the XPages extension library. So, how do we do it? Let's go ahead and create a new page. We'll call it Tooltip. And we'll create a new control. We will cleverly call it the Tooltip control. I might have misspelled something, but that's okay. And we will drag on a few things here. We'll put a panel on here and a label on here and an edit box. And then from the extension library, we will go ahead and scroll down and drag on the tooltip control. Relatively simple to set up. The one thing we want to know is the ID for our edit box. If we want the message to appear when the user hovers over this element, we need to know the ID. So we input text 1, and then we go to the tooltip, and we click on properties, and we see here this 4. And we're just going to go ahead and say input text 1, but of course it's got that blue diamond, so we could always compute that for different elements on the page. Perhaps this element is hidden at times and another element is being shown, and the tooltip applies to both. We could then compute that. And then the message that we want it to say, making it different than the demonstration, just so you can see that this is happening for real. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need. Then we'll go back to our X page and we'll drag on our control so we can see what we've done. And there it is. I was already hovering in the area that the field popped in, so hello from Running Notes. You'll note when I hover over the label, nothing happens because, again, we were linked to that ID for hello from Running Notes. One thing I want to show you, of course, on the custom control, not on the X page, and I'm going to copy this entire panel so we can mess around a little bit. So now we have 2 tooltips and 2 panels with an input box. So notice this is for input 2, so we need to change our tooltip to be for input 2. But actually what I want to show you instead is our label. So here we have label 1, and I'm going to make this for label 1, except I'm going to type a 1, not a 2. So it looks as though this tooltip would go to this input box. But because we've noted that it's for the ID label 1, it actually doesn't matter where these tooltips are on the page. It will only work for the ID that we've given it that it's for. Just to demonstrate that. So we now have 2 input boxes. We have our original, which says hello from Running Notes, and we have our second one, which I hover over it and nothing happens. I hover over the label and nothing happens, but I hover over label 1 and there we go, hello from the label. So just to point that out, that your tooltip, it doesn't really matter where they are. If you wanted to, for the sake of whatever reason, have all your tooltips at the bottom of your page, that's fine, as long as they've all got the corresponding field or ID for the elements here in the 4. Of course, I would think it would make more sense design-wise to have them shown next to the item that they're for, so it's less confusing for anybody else who might come along later and look at your X page and try and figure out what's happening. One other easy little thing we can do here, since this is for the label, and you saw that when we were in here, it was a little bit cramped. If I said label, now the pop-up tooltip is right on top of my input box. So what we can do instead is change that. So we're selected on the second tooltip here, the one that says hello from the label. And there's this item down here for layout. And we can change that to before, after, above, or below. In this instance, below makes sense. Of course, it's got that blue diamond, so we could always change that, or compute that rather. You have the original one on the side and the label, which now goes into the below position. And that's pretty much it. The tooltip's very simple, but it's a great user interface element to have to give people direction without making them click a button for help or anything like that. It just kind of pops up, hello, this is what you're supposed to do here, and helps users out. And there you go. That's it. And that's Tooltips. If you have any questions, I'm at Running Kathy on Twitter, or you can reach me at runningnotes.net. Thanks for watching.